Hey kids, here we are again. We are back at, live. We're live on this channel, Guitar Quackery Live. Interesting job on the bench today. It's going to be nut repair on a Fender 1984 Fender Telecaster using dental composite fillings. But before I forget, I do need to send this link to the owner of the guitar so he can watch as I work on the guitar. Just bear with me. So this is a live stream. I don't live stream every single project, but here I'm sending a link to the customer, and yeah, he can watch me work on his guitar in real time with a little delay. And what else? I'm also streaming live in the waiting area over there. So where are we in? Sorry. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So just so you know, Guitar Quackery has two channels. This is the live channel. If you want to watch me live, if you want to see how I work, this is the channel to follow. You subscribe, and then you'll get notified when I am live streaming. I will not live stream on schedule. I thought I'd be streaming this a few hours ago, but I had to finish some other work first, and you know, it took a while. In fact, this is the fourth guitar I have on the bench today, so the other three I did behind the scenes. So now let me make a dramatic entrance here. This is, you know, like a smoke machine. And let's have a look at the computer. Yeah, no one's watching yet, but you're watching, but you're watching a replay. All right, we'll use this little thing. This is oh, why isn't this working? Oh, well, I was just charging the battery here. Well, it's important that the battery is charged, and something didn't feel right. Okay. Is it? Yeah, okay. So I think you know what this is. All right, this is a dental composite thing. It's on a 20-second timer. So if you ever had fillings done, the dentist might have used something like this. Okay, let's talk about the problem first. Here it is. This is the nut. We'll be fixing at least two string slots. The A string slot is too wide, so the string wobbles inside, and you know, it's moving inside of the nut. We can't have that. Now, the B string is too low, so it's buzzing. It's been cut too low. Maybe I'll also repair the high E because it's been cut at an angle a little bit. All right, and maybe the D string, I have to examine it closely. It looks like it might have a filling already, which is Well, why don't we look at the string slots through the microscope right here. So here we're looking at the low E string. So you see this width, and now this one is as wide as the low E. Actually, it's even wider. So clearly, the string, the A string, can move inside of the string slot when it vibrates. Now, the D string, performs well, but I did notice at the bottom, if I reposition this, if I focus, this shiny surface, I'm not really sure if that's some kind of super glue filling. Well, even if it is holding up. Or maybe it's just shiny because the string was rubbing it. I don't really know at this point, but I'll have a closer look. The G string's okay. Well, we need to clean it up a little bit, but the B string slot is too low. Okay, so obviously, when it's too low, the string ends up hitting this fret when you play it open. And then the interesting string slot is this one, which is the high E, and it's hard to see, but it's been cut a little bit at an angle. So if I put this feeler gauge straight, that's straight, but the cut is more like at an angle like that. And I'll just see if there's a problem with the string slot, I will fix it. But if not, then no. It is the original nut, and I believe it's a plastic nut. So that's important because we can't treat it like a bone nut when we use dental composites. When we are filling a bone nut, a cavity, we must use this etching solution, okay? This is made for teeth, obviously, and it works on bone as well. It prepares the tissue, bone is a tissue, for the filling. However, if it's a plastic nut, like this one, you don't need to etch it. The etching doesn't even work. Doesn't work on plastic, right? All right, so let's have a look at this. Again, this is the B string now. Okay, we see some graphite here. It's graphite from a pencil. It's been lubricated, so we want to clean that first for sure. We want to clean it, and then we want to file the string slot even deeper and wider to expose some fresh material for the filling to grab onto. All right, so maybe I'll use a Q-tip and some dental floss. And also here I have a toxic chemical. I don't really want to say what it is in case kids are watching. I need to be responsible. I'm an adult. So, but I am using something that has good properties for cleaning, but not for inhaling. So I'll just, go over this surface. We can have a close-up view. And let's see if I can remove this dirt. Seems to be working. All right, So you can think of a filling, it's almost like a glue joint. And with glue joints, or in this case fillings, surface preparation is important, which is why I'm doing it. Yeah, so let's just cap this, and now I'll just use some dental floss. And it's flooded, right, with a cleaning solution, so let's try to clean the inside. It's not critical that I clean the inside with this, because I am in fact going to use the file. You can see that it dries up pretty quickly. Okay, like I said, it's not even critical, so let's just use the file. I'm going to be using diamond grit files for this job. So that's yeah, I'm going to use a 13 gauge file, see if that's the right size. Just like that. It has grit on the two sides as well, and at the bottom, obviously. So when I do this, when I kind of push it against the side, I can expose fresh material on the side of the string slot, on both sides. Now I'm working on this side here. Yeah, so obviously a dentist will also drill out the bad tooth structure before doing the filling, so I'm doing the same thing. So I'm holding it with two hands like this, going inside, and then pulling in this direction as I am filing. As you can see, we want to remove as little as possible, but at the same time as much as needed. Okay, and now I'll be pushing in that direction to clean the other side. Okay. Want to clean up, and now we tape it off. Still need to do a little bit of cleaning. I also need compressed air, which I have right here. I'm just using, this and some tape. Just like that. Tape off the nut. On both sides. There you go. I'm glad I put the lid on. Okay, now if we just examine the string slot, I can still see a little bit of something inside. There's a little bit of dirt trapped here. Okay. We need this to be as clean as possible. Okay, and now I just blow some air. It looks clean to me. So, I am not 100% sure if this is plastic or bone, so I'm actually changing my mind a little bit on this. I am going to use the etching solution simply because it can't hurt if this happens to be plastic, right? And if it's not plastic, if it is bone, it will help. This is it. So we just want to fill this string slot with etching solution, which is just, it's acidic, it's an acid. And we'll soon find out if this is bone or not. I'll explain. So we want this to be all the way down. So I just use the floss. So if this is bone, as we observe it, I'm going to zoom in. It'll produce air bubbles. So why don't we observe it? Now there is a little air bubble there, but I don't think that's from the etching. There are two air bubbles. So I'm just going to monitor this, and you know, the etching is done for about 15 seconds on the tooth. Now on a bone nut, you can extend that time a little bit. But yeah, I don't see any air bubbles at all forming inside. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this was there before or not. So there's the big one here, medium size, a small one, a couple of bubbles there. I don't know. But like I said, it doesn't hurt to do this. If it happens to be plastic, it's just ineffective. And, you know, I would also be seeing air bubbles here and here, and I'm not seeing any. So okay, So at this point, we can remove the etching solution. We can just clean up. And I'll use the floss. Yeah, no bubbles. This is a plastic nut. But, you know, let's say that if there were any organic materials that don't belong there trapped inside, I guess it would help. Although it is my understanding that the etching solution also dissolves the calcium in the tooth or in the bone. The etching solution needs to be washed. And we just use water. So here I have a small container. And just a pipette. So I'm just going to wash it. Again, just like a dentist. I'll put this here. And this is obviously one reason why I masked off the area. Let's have a look. Yeah, so there's a small piece of something there. So let's remove everything. And to draw, oh, that's my dirty finger. Well, okay, let's wash it. Okay. All right. Let's not obsess over this too much. It isn't a tooth. And now with compressed air, we'll dry it. So yeah, I can see that little single speck. There you go. So now we've prepped the area. It's all clean. The next thing we need to use is the bonding solution. And we use a little applicator, which actually is not going to work because this is narrow. So maybe I'll use okay, I know what I'll do. Here, I just need to put a small drop of this here. Okay. This is a bonding solution to prep the surface so that the composite sticks to the surface. So just pick up some with the dental floss, and now on the inside I just apply it, okay? And with the dry part of the floss I just remove the excess. And now there's a piece of lint there. Okay. So we want this to be a very thin layer, and I am going to cure this now. That's it. So now the light is hitting it. For 20 seconds. Okay. I need to prep something. I'm going to put tape on both sides of the strength slot because I will be using what's called a flowable dental composite. So it'll all make sense in a moment. And here I have, this is a tray, also dental thing. Dentists use this. So here I have some tools. I have tweezers here, and I just want to put this here in the front. And just put it against this edge. Just like that. Okay. And now I will do the exact same thing on the other side. So this is pretty interesting. Yeah. There. And just want to push it all the way against the front of the nut. And on the other side as well. Okay, that's prepped. Next, I'm going to use, like I said, the so-called flowable dental composite. There are many kinds of dental composites. This one is the consistency of honey, I guess. Here it is. Okay, and we want to fill this gap, and we want to make sure there are no air bubbles. That's important. And that's challenging, actually. Which, hold on, now I'm thinking, is this the best composite for this job? And I believe that it's going to be difficult to ensure there are no air bubbles trapped inside, but I guess let's try. As you can see, this is bigger than the string slot, so it doesn't fit inside. All right, let's see what happens. I'm squeezing that syringe thing. Slowly. And hopefully that's pushing the air bubbles out the other way at the back end of the nut. But I don't really know for sure, which is why I'm going to take, this is just a guitar string fragment. So I wouldn't be able to use floss here since I put that tape on the two sides. All the way there. Yeah. We also want to clean the top surface just with a clean Q-tip. And now before we hit it with a curing light, let's just examine it, make sure that we don't have any air bubbles. And I don't believe we do. Okay. So it looks good. All right. So now I'm going to hit it with a light for 20 seconds, and then I'll repeat it. Obviously, I don't want to look at the light, which is why this is equipped with this filter. Okay, and like I said, I want to hit it a couple of times. This is probably already hard. I'm sure it is. But let's just do it one more time. I'm going to move the microscope out of the way so that I can hit it from above, like that. It's on a 20-second timer, but I know that my dentist always does it 3 or 4 times, so they must have a reason. All right. Now we need to prep the A string slot and do the same thing there. So just move the guitar a little bit in this direction. So for those of you who joined in at a later time, we are fixing this nut because 2 of the string slots were problematic. The B string slot, which we just filled, was cut too low, and the A string slot was cut too wide. And I can show you this, which I did show at the beginning of this live stream, but you know, you weren't watching. So if you look at the low E string slot, you can kind of make a mental note of the width. And now look at the A. It's even wider than the E. So that's not good, obviously. I don't have a string here, but if we leave it like this, the string is going to vibrate inside of the string slot. And we don't want that, right? So first thing we want to do is use a diamond file. I'm just going to use, yeah, maybe I'll try a 42 gauge file. See how that works, and you know, remove all the surface material to expose fresh material. So hold on, I have my switcher app here. I can show you from this view. And switch to this. Right. Again, surface preparation is key to any good, reliable glue joint or filling, or you know, anything of that nature. And a dentist would do the same thing. That's why they do the drilling before the filling. I want to remove as little material as possible, but as much as needed. And on this one, I am going to use two types of composite fillings. I will start with a flowable, and then I will end with a packable. So you'll get to see two procedures in this live stream. Now, it is also true that filling a string slot isn't what I normally want to do, but it is the original nut. It's a vintage guitar now, so the customer decided to preserve the original nut, but we couldn't leave it as is. Yeah, it just occurred to me that I forgot to do something, which I did on the other side. I didn't clean the top surface. I don't think it's critical, because we're not going to be fixing it. But yeah, we want to clean the top surface, and here I am using my favorite toxic chemical for the job. As you can see, it's also flooding the string slot, but it's not going to cause any issues. Yeah, okay. Done with this. Let's dry it with the compressed air. Like I said, on the prior repair, while I was repairing the B string, I don't believe this is bone. But I used the etching solution on the B string, so I'll use it here too. I'm sure it helps with the cleanup, so this should be good. Just that's compressed air. Okay, and now where's the etching solution? It's right here. Yeah. Just squirt some in. Now, if this was bone, we would start seeing bubbles as it's etching into the bone. But I didn't see any bubbles on the B string. I don't expect to see any bubbles on the A string. There is a small air bubble here, but I think this was just pushed out of the syringe like that. Yeah. There's a piece of lint here. So 15 seconds is the recommended timing on this for teeth. For a guitar, I'm sure it's okay to leave it longer. All right, let's see. I got some people watching. Let's make sure my batteries are charged. I ran out of juice on my mic last time. Okay, it's all good. And now, let's clean it up. I'm going to use some floss to remove the bulk of it. Like that. Okay. One more time. Okay. That's that. Q-tip. Okay. And now water to wash it off. It looks nice and clean. This is what we want. Let's focus. All right. So I just put a tissue here, and then just squirt some water. It's not going to hurt the fingerboard, even if I spill some water on the fingerboard. All right. And now we blow some air. It's got to be completely dry before the next step. Yeah, I think this is good. So once again, now I need the bonding solution. And I don't know if the one that's here is still good, that like one little drop that I use. No, it's all hardened because I was shining that light there. Yeah. So let's take a fresh piece of floss. This is the bonding solution. I just put a small drop here so I can pick it up with the floss. That's all I need. This is way more than I need. And I'll just pick it up with the floss and then transfer it inside. Very thin coat. And then I use a dry segment of the floss to remove the excess. This part is critical. Now we hit it with the light. It's on a 20-second timer. And 20 seconds should be plenty. Okay, let's take the flowable composite. Oh no, now we need to put the tapes, the two small pieces of tape on the two sides, just like we did with the B string. So just a small piece of tape goes here, just like that. Maybe there's a better way to do this. I don't know. This is how I do it. But I'm looking for something. My little plastic tool. Oh, here it is. Okay. And here I push it against the back. So this one is too wide, this string slot, which means we are going to fill it all the way up. So we're going to overfill it and then cut a new slot inside of it. Right? It wouldn't be enough. It wouldn't be enough to see. I got a piece of lint. I can see it through the microscope. There's that little black piece of lint. So I'm just going to use the other side. Okay. like that. And just push it with that tool. Against the face of the nut, right there. So now I am going to first use the flowable composite to fill the bottom. Again, I gotta make sure I don't get any air pockets. Okay, it's coming out slowly. So the reason I'm using the flowable right now is I think it sticks better to the surface. And then the packable composite, which is like a paste, you pack it in, it sticks better to this fresh surface, which is the flowable composite after it hardens. This looks good. And once again, now we hit it with the light. So these composites are made to be built in layers for fillings. It's important not to look at that light. You know, there's a filter. I'm looking through the filter most of the times. And I can look on the screen. So when I look on the screen, I see exactly what you see. And obviously the screen doesn't reproduce the harmful wavelengths, obviously. So it's safe to look at the screen without a filter. Once again, I'm going to move the microscope aside so that I can hit it from above and like this. And now I will use the packable composite on top and pack it all the way. Maybe in 2 layers. Yeah, I don't think it makes a difference because this is not going to end up being very thick. It looks like this. This is the packable. And you twist this and it comes out here. So I used it recently. So, and by the way, that's also dentist tool. So I don't think it's dried up here. I just used this a few days ago. Yeah, so it is sticky, but you see it's a paste. So let's have a look. Yeah. Let's do this and pack it in. So we want to make sure that it's again that we don't have any air gaps. Just like that, we pack it in. So I think I could do it in one go, but let's do it in 2 layers, okay? And this, I want to save it, so I want to move it away from that light. And then, you know, reuse it, use it. I put it somewhere dark, it doesn't matter. I go somewhere away from that light. Like that. That's already good, I think, but okay, once again, I move the microscope aside so that I can hit it from above. One more time. And then we'll finish it off with another layer. Okay. So this is still soft because I kept it away from here. I think it's soft. I hope it's soft. Here, it is soft. Okay. So one more layer. And again, we want to pack it in and overbuild it in this case. So these composite fillings have been tested over a few decades, and they last a long time. They don't last forever in the mouth, right? But they last for many, many years in a wet environment. Some of them, so there are 7 types of dental composites. Some of them are made for the biting surfaces of the teeth. So those obviously withstand a lot of pressure, all the chewing and biting. Like that. I'm overbuilding it. I don't want to overbuild it too much because that makes it thicker, but we want the light to go through. And I believe that that's exactly how dentists do the fillings on our teeth. They also overbuild the filling, and then they adjust your bite. Okay, so I did overbuild it. It's a little bit proud of this surface, which is exactly what I want. I hope that's not a dimple there. I don't think it is. And then I will, once this is cured, I will file it flush with the surface and then cut a new string slot. Yeah. So this leftover small amount of material, now I can leave it right there. I won't need it for anything. And it'll harden as well as I do this, because this light shines on it. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, this small piece is already hard. This is the piece that I left over here. That's already hard. And I'm sure this is hard, but just like I said, my dentist does it a few times. Any dentist I've ever had did it like maybe 3 or 4 times, so I'll just do the same. And let's just move this aside so I can do it this way. I put some links in the description where you can buy this. Well, you can buy it, you know, where you can buy it, right? Online. Through the same online outlet that sells everything. I'm not a big fan of that outlet. It's called Amazon, but yeah. So I put links in the description. Those are Amazon affiliate links. They do pay me a small commission at no extra cost to you, just so you know. I'm required to disclose that I get paid a commission. Yeah, the links are there. Okay, this is good. Now, let's clean up. Let's put this away. And now we can file the nut. This is the package. Those are the packable composites with the bonding solution and the etching solution. The flowable I bought separately. It came in a separate package. Different manufacturer, no, same manufacturer, I think. I'm not sure. Okay, let's put it over here for now. And now we do some more traditional guitar work. I have jeweler's files. These are the StewMac little files. Okay, I like them. And yeah, at this point, I can remove all this tape. I believe so, yeah. Will I regret it? I hope not. Yeah, I really just wanted to remove these, but I can I can put the tape back here just to protect the guitar. Okay, and let's adjust the surface. Just like that. Okay. This is harder than the nut material. I would think. Now I can file it lower than it was. There you go. Okay, that's the filling. And just want to, where's my brush here? Maybe it would be a good idea to put this back. Now I want to do this. Just the upper edge a little bit. I think it looks good. Now on the B string, we did something different. So we have a different situation on the B string. Right? So we don't have any material. Look, there's a lint there. Okay. It'll come out when I file it, which I can start doing now. Just, okay. As you can see, it still looks wet a little bit, and that's because whatever part of the composites that are in contact with oxygen, which is in the air, will not cure under that light. And that's by design. By design to ensure that the fresh composite, if you build it in layers, will stick to the previously cured one, right? If that makes sense. I think it makes sense. All right. We can take the string spacing rule, which I have right here, to start cutting the A string slot. So let me see what string spacing we got here. Well, the string spacing on the actual nut doesn't match what's on this rule. So I'm just going to have to eyeball it. I don't think that's a problem. But I do want to put this away before I spill it. That's just water. So for those of you who are new to the channel, Burnt Relic says that's a badass zoom. You mean the microscope? Yeah, it's a zoom microscope. Yeah, you can zoom in and out. So for those of you who are new to this channel, this is the live streaming channel of Guitar Quackery. There's another channel which is only for produced content. But this is the only channel where you can catch me live in real time. So you can see how I work from beginning to end on this channel only. The produced content is different. I just show you the highlights. I'm not recording this, so this guitar project will only appear on this channel. You can obviously watch the replays of the live streams. But if you also want to watch the produced content that I produce, then you should check out the other channel, which is called Guitar Quackery. This one is called Guitar Quackery Live. Two different channels, same place. Okay. All right. Here is the A string slot. I'm happy with this. This looks good. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to cut an incision with an X-Acto blade. I mean, this is the middle, right? And I can hold it like this. Is this the middle? Yeah. I'm just pushing down, as you can see. Just trying to keep it in the middle. This is a fresh blade, so it cuts. All right. And now I have a jeweler's file, and I forgot to put a link to that, to the jeweler's file. It's a really fine tooth jeweler's file. Okay, you can feel the little teeth, but with a naked eye you can barely see them. But let's look through the microscope, and they look quite coarse. Okay, well, it's a microscope. So now I want to make my first or my second pass with this. And that's just to help me keep the file, the actual nut file steady. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, a little channel. And now I can take a 10 gauge nut file, 10 gauge, right? And cut a little deeper. And it also cuts a little wider. just like that. And now I switch to a 13 gauge file and cut a little wider and a little deeper. That's it. And I am just going to increase the size of the file all the way to, let me put this away, a 36 gauge file. We're using 10s on this guitar, so the A string is going to be a 36 gauge. So let me put the sharp blade away. I no longer need it. It's a good habit to put sharp objects away. I no longer need this file. I'm just checking my battery level on my computer. And my phone is fine. And I'll put these files away. Yeah, so like I said, 36 is going to be the size. So next one is going to be 17, then 20, then 24, 28, 32, and then 36. So each time I enlarge the string slot a little bit. Okay. Yeah. I normally don't keep the files on these holders, but now I'm not really doing precision work, so just one or two passes. Oh, that was a 20 gauge already, so I skipped the 17. All right. It'll be fine. Let's inspect it. Yeah, it's fine, right? So just go like this. Okay, so I skipped this one. Well, that saved me some time, I guess. And now, next one is a 24. Those are music Nomad files. You know, I just realized the other day that I keep praising music Nomad products on these live streams. And I do want to emphasize I have absolutely no affiliation with them. This is not sponsored or anything. I don't know anybody there. I only exchanged one or two emails over the years with their regular customer support. Okay, but I'm not pushing their products. I'm just simply stating that I like these files. Okay, and there's a link in the description. So now the 24. Okay. Always clean your files. 28. That's a 32. And yeah, I keep checking through the microscope, making sure that it's centered, which it is enough, more or less. Good enough, like a Gibson. Okay. Yeah, you can see. So clean up a little bit. And now last one is going to be a 36, which is this. Okay. So for this one, yeah, I don't want to remove it because that's how I work. I don't use these holders. And that's my final size. Obviously, I need to make sure I don't cut too deep. So let's remove this. And here I have a Hasco step gauge. This you cannot buy on Amazon. I'll try to remember to put a link to, I think it's a Canadian company that sells them in North America. So first I am going to measure the height of this fret using this side. So it's a little more than 1.2 millimeters. And now using this, I measure this height. And it's way over 1.7 millimeters. That's why this is not seated all the way. So I'm safe to file. So the Hasco step gauge is a great tool. It's a Japanese tool. Japanese products are well made, usually, right? So it's at 1.7 now. I like to use the Hasco step gauge for my preliminary work, right? Within the safe zone. So this allows me to do all the preliminary filing without putting the strings on and off all the time. So we are at 1.4. This is, yeah, 1.4. So a little bit more, maybe down to 1.3. I know the fret is 1.2, so just a little more. And I think I'll stop here. Yeah, we're at 1.3. We're not down to 1.3 yet, not quite, so just a little more. And I use a magnifying glass for, you know, for this work. Now we're down to 1.3. Okay. I don't want to cut it too low. We also filled the B string slot, so let's measure the fret here. 1.2, yeah, 1.2, same thing. and here we are above 1.7. So with a 13 gauge file, we just go deeper. And you know, this is the filling. And now we just, because we did not overfill this one, right? So that already had the two sides, and that's what's holding the file. That's what's guiding the file. Okay. So also I can go down to about 1.3 and then do the rest with the strings on. It's very easy to file it too deep. We're at 1.4. So just a little more. I think that should do it for now. Yeah, we are at about 1.3. So if we look at the work from above, this is what we see. Okay. This is just the rough work now. And if we move over to the A string, it says the A string, yeah. We can see there's a filling because the two sides have been repaired, right? Here we were repairing the two sides on this one, and on the B string we were repairing the bottom, right? Two slightly different jobs. Good. So this is part of a playlist. I think I titled it the 1984 Fender Telecaster, something like that, not repair. It's on the playlist. I'm going to take a short break now because I've been streaming now for an hour and a half. And I'll do another live stream in a few minutes. I will put the strings on and finish the setup. I already did all the fret work in part 1, so you're watching part 2 now. And in part 3, I will put the strings on and I will finish the setup. Am I forgetting anything? I don't think so. The strings will be 10s, 10 to 46 gauge, the Dario XS. I already have them here. That's it. If you liked this, oh, good stuff. Thank you very much. Carpathus or Carpathus? How do you pronounce it? Carpathus, I'm gonna say, or yeah, maybe I should say Dr. Carpathus. I'm gonna say doctor. Yeah, so if you liked it, just make sure you you click that button that says like, and if you didn't like it, you gotta find another channel to watch. But don't click that thumbs down button, right? Oh, Dr. Steve Cassidy is here. Well, this reminds me, if you really love guitar-related live streams, you're going to love Steve Cassidy Guitar. That's the name of the channel. Yeah, I really enjoy Dr. Steve. I really enjoy watching your live streams. Yeah, he's got like a really positive, you know, attitude, and a very distinct visual identity. So saturated colors and crazy glasses without lenses, although last time he did have a lens in it. And I was wondering, I think you said that sometimes you wear contacts, right? So, yeah, so first time I was watching his channel, I thought that those were augmented reality computer generated frames. But then in one of his live streams, he explained that those are glasses without the lenses. Yeah. Oh, you're just home from a gig. Yeah. Well, I hope your gig went well. All right. He's a music teacher, and he lives in Scotland. Yeah. Okay, kids, I am going to take a short break, and perhaps I'll see you soon in maybe 10, 15 minutes. Thank you very much. And let's talk soon. How do I do this again? Oh, right here.